Hello everyone and welcome to Coding Cart. So in this tutorial we are going to solve this recursion problem. So here I asked you what will be the value for this 1 4 in which we are passing the value 2 comma 3. So basically here we are calling this function and inside this function we are calling another function which is fun3, which is indirect recursive call. So here in this problem we will learn how direct and indirect recursive call works. You can see here it is calling function 4. You can see here this is function 4. And inside this function 4 it is calling function 3 by passing two parameter in which the second parameter is calling the function itself. So this will be quite interesting problem. So let me copy this code and execute, and I will explain you line by line each thing. So this we have already executed in the previous session. So in today's session we will copy this one and execute. So let me copy this one and function 3 which we have already executed. So it is already present, and here we are calling this function by passing value 2 comma 3. So let us call that function. We copy this one and paste this one. Now let me comment this one, and here you have to call the function 4 and we have to pass the function 2 comma 3. And since we are calling from the main which is static, so this will be static. Now here we have both the function fun4 and fun3. This is fun4 and this is fun3, and we are calling this function by passing the value 2 comma 3. So let us run and see what is the output. So let me execute. So you can see here the output is 8. And if you see here, most of the people have voted for 16 and very few for 8. So let me explain you how the things are working here line by line. So let me copy this code. Let me copy this code, function 4, and let me explain you line by line. So these were the explanation for the previous problems. You can watch them. So this is function 4. I think this is okay. Now fun4 by passing value 2 comma 3. So these 2 will be assigned to A and 3 will be assigned to B. So let us execute line by line. So control will first go in if statement. Here B is not equal to 0. So it will go in else part. So it will go in else part, and in else part we have written all the function 3 in which we are passing the value A, which is 2. And the second parameter is here we are calling the same function 4. Let us call the function 4 here. Let us call the same function again, and here we are calling by passing the value A, which is 2, and second is B minus 1. So B is 3, so 3 minus 1, which will be 2. So we are calling the same function by passing the value 2 comma 2. Now let us execute this one. Now control will go in this function call. Now here again B is not 0, so it will go in else part. In else part we have written return, and we are calling the same function fun3 in which we are passing the value of A, comma, and we are calling the same function 4. So let us call the function 4 again one more time, function 4, and here we are passing the value A, which is 2, and B will be 2 minus 1, which will be 1. Now control will go in this call, and here it will go in if statement, and here my B is not 0, so it will go in else part. In else part we have written we have to call the function fun3 in which we are passing the value A, which is 2, and second parameter is we are calling the same function. So let us call the same function one more time, fun4, and here we are passing the value, for this function. Here we are passing the value A will be 2 and B will be, here B is 1, so 1 minus 1 will be 0. Here my B value is 1, you can see here. So 1 minus 1 will be passed here, so it will be 0. Now see here, control will go in this call and it will go for the if statement first. Now here my b is 0. So when b is 0, it will return 1. So this 1 will be returned from where it is being called. So the total value will be replaced by 1. So we got the very first value 1 here for this fun3. Now see, it will look like we are calling this fun3 by passing the value 2 comma 1. Now here we have to call this fun3. Now it will call the function 3 by passing the value 2 comma 1. So let us copy the code for function 3. This is my code for function 3. So let us copy this one. And here it is calling function 3. So let us call here function 3 by passing the value. Let me zoom this one a little bit. Okay. Now it is calling this function 3 by passing the value here 2 comma 1. So x will be 2 and y will be 1. Now control will go in this if statement first. Here y is not 0. It will go in else part, and in else part it is calling the function again. Here we have x plus x is having value 2. So 2 plus, and we are calling the function again. So one more time this function 3 will be called. So let us call this one. Let me copy this one. Now this function 3 will be called one more time, and here the value passed will be x, which is 2, 2 and y minus 1. So currently my y is having value 1. So 1 minus 1 will be 0. So here control will go in first if statement, and here y is my 0. So 0 will be returned. So 0 will be returned from where it is being called. So for this my value is 0. So it will be 0. So x plus 0 means 2 plus 0 will be returned from where it is being called. So it was called from here. So it will return 2. So this 2 will be returned over here. Now see. So from here we have written a statement. So from here 2 will be returned from where it is being called. So here 2 will be returned. Now see here. Here we got the value 2 comma 2. Now here again this fun3 is being called by passing the value. Here we are calling fun3 by passing the value 2 comma 2. So let us call fun3 over here. Fun3 by passing the value 2 comma 2. So here x will be 2 and y will be 2. Now control will go in this if statement. Again my y is not 0. So here x plus, and this fun3 will be called by passing the value. Let us call first. This fun3 will be called from here. Here this fun3 will be called and value will be 2 comma y minus 1. So currently y is 2 here and y is 2. So 2 comma 1 y minus 1. So 2 minus 1 will be 1. So we are calling this again by passing the value 2 comma 1. So again the control will go in this call. The very first if statement. Here my y is not 0. It will go in this else part. In else part we have written x plus, means x is having value 2 plus, and we are calling this function again by passing the value. Let us call the function first, and here we are passing the value. It is passing the value here x, which is 2, and y will be 1 minus 1, which will be 0. Now here the control will go in this call of the very first if statement, and here the y value is 0, so it will return 0, and it will return 0 from where it is being called. So here the value will be 0. So 2 plus 0 will be returned from this call from where it is being called. So here it will return 2. So 2 plus 2, 4. So 4 will be returned from this statement from where it is being called. So for this one, 4 will be returned. Now again, this has been called from here. So it will return from here, it will return 4, 4 to this call. So you can see here for this fun3 we got, this was our very first call inside this function 4. So we have this much calculation. You can see here for a single call we have this much calculation, recursive call to get this value 4. Now let me explain you again here. Here we got the 2 value for calling this function 2 comma 4. So again from here function 3 will be called. So let us call. Now see, here we are calling by passing the value 2 comma 4. Let me explain you here. Control will go in this if part. Here y is not 0, y is having value 4. So this else will be executed by passing the value 2 plus, and this function 3 will be called again. So let us call this function 3 again one more time here. And here it is passing the value. You can see here it is calling by passing the value. X is having value 2 and y will be 4 minus 1, which will be 3. So you can see here control will go in this if statement. Again here my y is not 0. So again it will call this fun3 by passing the value 2 plus, and here it is calling the function. So let us call the function fun3. This fun3 will be called and it will pass the value. X is having value here 2. So 2 comma y minus 1. Y is having value 3. 3 minus 1 will be 2. Now from here again this if statement will be executed. So y is not 0. It will go in else part. And in else part we have 2 plus x is 2 and 2 plus, here again it is calling the same function. So let us call again. So let us call here. So you can see here how many recursive calls are there. So here the value will be for x it will be 2 and for y it will be 2 minus 1, which will be 1. So we go in this if statement for this recursive call. Here y is not 0, so it will go in else part. In else part we have 2 plus and calling the same function again. So let us call the same function again. So let us call the same function again. Now while calling, the value will be here x will be 2 and y will be, here my y was 1. So here 1 minus 1, 0 will be passed. So 0. Now here we have reached to the base condition for this value 2 comma 0. Here my y is 0. So when y is 0, it is returning 0 from where it is being called. So it will return here 0. So it will return 0. So 2 plus 0, 2. So 2 will be returned from where it is being called. So this 2 will be returned here. So here 2 plus 2 will be 4. So 4 will be returned from where it is being called. So it was being called from here. So this value is 4. So 2 plus 4, total 6. So 6 will be returned from where it's being called. So it was being called from here. So 2 plus, here 2 plus 4, 6. So 6 will be returned here. Now 2 plus 6, which will be 8. So 8 will be returned from where it is being called to the final call here 8. So here we are returning 8. So this total value calculated is 8. This is 8. Total calculated value is 8. So this 8 will be returned. So this 8 will be returned from this statement to the first call from where we have called this fun4 by passing the value 2 comma 3. So this total value will be 8. That's why it is printing 8. So that's all for this problem. You can see here how many recursive calls are there. You can see how many recursive calls, how many direct and indirect calls were there. You can see here we are calling function 3, and inside this function 3 we are calling function 4 also for the second parameter. And to get this second parameter, you can see we have performed this much recursive call to get this value 4. And after getting this value 4, we are passing 2 comma 4 to this fun 3, and we have calculated this much 1 2 3 4 5 recursive call to reach the base condition. When it reaches the base condition, it is returning the value. So at the end we are getting 8 as an answer. So you can see how many recursive calls were there. So you can see here how many direct and indirect recursive calls were there. So let me show you one more thing here. For example, suppose let me print here the value. Let us print this out. Let us print the value like fun4 in fun4 function, and passing the value of a and b over here plus b. And let us copy this one and also paste in function 3 to check how the values are being populated. So this is function 3. Let us pass value x, and this is the y. For this fun3, you can say the parameter are x and y. Let us save and execute one more time. Let me execute this one. So you can see here how the recursive calls are working. Here it is calling function for 1 2 3 4 times. So let me show you here how it is calling 4 times. Let me change the color and show you how the function 4 is called 4 times. So this was the very first call while passing the value 2 comma 3 to function 4. After that it is called here second time, after that here third time, and after here fourth time. And if you see here the value where for the very first time the value was 2 comma 3, the very first initial call value 2 comma 3. After that the value was this one 2 comma 2. After that for the third call you can see 2 comma 1, 2 comma 1, and for the fourth call it is 2 comma 0, 2 comma 0. Now you can see here the value 2 comma 3 for the very first call, then 2 comma 2, 2 comma 1, 2 comma 0, correct? So and after that you can see all these are the fun3 function call. So let me show you here how the things were working. Here we have called, after getting the value from here we have called for the very first time. Let me denote by a, with a small a, and after that from here we have called again function 3. This will be b. That's all, only 2 times for this one. And after that it will come here. So let me denote by capital A, B, and C. So here 2 times, and that value where for this A it was 2 comma 1, and for B it was 2 comma 0. And for capital A you can see here for this function for it was called 3 times, and the values were, you can see 2 comma 2. For B the value was 2 comma 1, and for C it was 2 comma 0. Now if you compare here 1 2 3 4 5, 5 times here, you can see 5 times here like 1 2 3 4 5 times here, out of which these calls were 2 comma 1, 2 comma 0, 2 comma 1, you can see here 2 comma 1, this one, and 2 comma 0 for this recursive call, this one, the small case AB. And after that 3 times the bigger one for this one. When the values were calculated and passed to this call, so we have called here 1 2 3 ABC 3 times, and the values were 2 comma 2, 2 comma 1, and 2 comma 0. So you can see this was the small a and b, and here 3 times 2 comma 2, 2 comma 1, and 2 comma 0. You can see 2 comma 2, 2 comma 1 and 2 comma 0. After that, these total calculated values were passed to this function, and from here again fun3 was called. You can see here, let me denote by PQR. This was P, this is Q, R, S and T. And let us pass the value like P, Q, R, S, T. So for P the value was 2 comma 4, 2 comma 4, 2 comma 3, 2 comma 2. For S you can see 2 comma 1, 2 comma 1 and then T 2 comma 0. So 5 times this function 3 was called and these were the value. So you can see here, after this it was called 5 times. So you can see here from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So total 5 times the function 3 was called by passing the value 2 comma 4 to 2 comma 0. You can see here from 2 comma 4, from 2 comma 4 to 2 comma 0. So you can see here how these recursive functions were called directly and indirectly. So this was the total explanation for direct and indirect call, and I hope you understood all the recursive call with the proper value. So if you have learned something new, please do like our videos and subscribe to our channel Coding Cart and stay tuned for the further videos. Thanks for watching.